Hey guys, and welcome back to another lap guide here at the Zandvoort circuit for week 11 with myself and Coach Dave Academy. My name is Matt Emery. Let's get into the hot lap. So let's get into the hot lap guide then for the Zandvoort circuit here for week 11. Obviously quite newly added to iRacing, this new model, most recent layout. Heading down towards turn 1 then, got a very, very heavy braking zone. Not looking to brake too hard so don't lock up the front right tyre. Looking to brake just about 150 metres away from turn 1. There's not really too much of a reference on the left-hand side, so it's going to be a bit more about feel and your reference points as you drive. Heavy on the brake then to about 70%, down to second gear, and then just coast it around the apex. It's quite a strange track because a lot of the corners are really, obviously one of the main features is that it's heavily banked, Zandvoort. So notice as we turn into turn 1, we're heading in very early. You notice how early we're apexing as well. Down to second gear, and already we're pretty much alongside the white line. So you want to apex quite early here. Just follow around the curb, follow around the white line, and then get on the throttle as early as you can, and then out towards the curb on the exit. These curbs, and pretty much goes for all of the circuit, you quite easily use them, especially in this car. They're quite flat, so you won't lose too much time from using them. Same goes to traction as well. You won't lose too much traction. Head towards turn 2 then. Got to get all over this curb on the left-hand side. Just make sure we open up the corner. Down towards third gear. And then again, just following around the curb on the apex. And then this is where it's probably the trickiest corner on the circuit to get right. Just easy to go wide. For this part, you're in the middle of the circuit. Now, conventionally, with a normal corner, obviously we're looking to go down here towards the apex. But this is the carousel, and you want to go all the way around the outside, all the way flying around the outside here, just because of the camber and the amount of banking available to you. So firing it in about middle of the track on the entry, and then you're aiming really right up towards the banking along this white line. Just want to follow around the white line, especially for this mid corner. Got to get all the way up here, down to second gear, and then you're basically looking to get on the throttle as early as you can. So notice how we're halfway around the corner, we're already at 100% throttle. Then you come back down slightly as we follow this bit of banking rounds, and you want to use all of the curb on the exit as well. So notice how we're pretty much touching the grass on the exit here. I'll show you what it looks like in the cockpit camera, just as the reference points are a bit different. So obviously loads of curb on the entry. Third gear, just completely straight, aiming for the barrier pretty much at this point. Get a bit of braking done, about 25% or so. Dab a brake. Follow the white line rounds, just about in the middle of your steering wheel at this point. And then on the throttle as early as you can. One of those things you can feel when you're driving. You can feel if the car's going to hook up or not. If you're going to understeer off, you'll feel it through the steering wheel. And you'll know when you've nailed it as your delta will go bright green. So just got to commit to this one pretty much as you can. Second gear, absolutely plant the throttle and then use all of the exit curb as well. This bit's all completely flat out as we finish sector 1. Back outside the car. Just make sure we try and cut these corners as much as we can. So all over this curb on the left hand side, all over this right one to the white line. And braking just in line with this curb on the left hand side, in line with the 50-meter board just before that. And then really aiming to get it into this white line on the inside of the corner. Just following it around in 4th gear and following around the white line throughout this whole corner. Not using the curb, just so we don't unsettle the car. And then out towards the left-hand side again. Hop over this one. As you'll notice, the track opens up again before this next right-hander. So you want to be as far left as you can. Hop over the curb. Down to 3rd gear. Using all of this apex curb as well. Not touching the sausage curb on the inside, just as it unsettles the car a bit too much. And then all the way out to the left-hand side again for this next right-hander. Down to 2nd gear. Again, turning in quite nice and early. Quite an early apex. Just make sure we get a nice line round the corner. Again, all about minimum speed, this one. And then onto the power. Up to 3rd gear. And then pull it back to the middle of the circuit for the next left-hander. Now, these couple of corners are very, very rear limited, which will mean the rear end is all over the place, really. Especially for this next one here. So notice, usually we want to be out here, you know, opening up the corner as much as you can, but the rear tyres just really don't like it. And you're going to end up unsettling the car quite heavily. So keep in the middle of the circuit, just try not to put too much steering lock on, and just be really smooth with your inputs with the brake. 2nd gear, you notice how we're just being really gentle, just going sort of round the corner, and then we're going for a really late apex to try and maximise the exit. And then full throttle, using all of the curb, all the way out to the white line, and then full throttle towards the final part of the lap. Heavy braking again just before the 100-meter board on the left-hand side. Get it turned in nice and early, all over this sausage curb on the inside. So you notice we're pretty much touching the grass. You're aiming for this point here for your right-hand tyre. Don't get an off track for that. This lap was pretty much nailed, to be honest, pretty much everywhere. So this would be a really good reference lap to use. Notice how we're just all over this curb. You're aiming for your right-hand tyre, just be in line with this sort of white bit of the curb here, just the start of it. Down to 2nd gear, and then just following around with a minimal amount of brake pedal. 2nd gear, following around this bit of camber. Again, you've got a nice bit of banking you can use, which just means the car really follows the circuit really nicely. Full throttle, using all of the curb again on the exit. Right to the edge of the circuit. Again, pretty much the limit is the grass here. And then towards the final corner, the last bit of banking on the circuit. Down to 3rd gear. Again, turning in quite early. If you look, the normal racing line would probably be out here somewhere, just turning in quite late. But we're turning in really early because of the banking. And then full throttle all the way to the line, using all of the curb as well on the exit. Make sure you don't dip a wheel in the gravel, as that will slow us down quite a lot. And then stick it to the inside, white line round all the way to the flag, really. And then come out across the banking, and that completes the lap of the Zandvoort circuit. So that was the hot lap guide then for the Zandvoort circuit for week 11 with myself, Matt Emery, with Coach Dave Academy. Obviously, check out our website, coachdaveacademy.com. All latest data packs can be found there, and also check out our Discord as well. Any issues, just let us know, or any questions you guys have. But yeah, I will see you for the final week next week for week 12. So take care, guys.